Hey guys, so I'm gonna do another energy check-in. I'm gonna pull out all 5 decks and see what's at the bottom of all 5 to see what we get. I'm gonna do a quick reading. I have the 7 of Swords in the reverse with the Wheel of Fortune, the 3 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. So we have the 3 of Swords right at the center of the reading. Heartbreak. Been in hermit mode in order to understand where our money's been going and where it's been held up. Okay. Dealing with King of Pentacles energy. Wheel of Fortune. Hermit mode twice. We have the Hermit in the upright and in the reverse. I believe that we've been in hermit mode and we're coming out of hermit mode. Or I would say there's people coming out and people going in. But right now, with the Wheel of Fortune, we're seeing the illusions. There's been a lot of illusions. So, again, what I got is Knight of Swords energy. People rushing in. I got in the reading earlier, there's people coming back from the past. It's like we've been in a season of, it's like isolation and stagnation and hermit mode, being just a hermit, like pretty much spending a lot of time alone, a lot of time, reflecting, a lot of time really thinking about our past, our childhood, all of our investments, our interactions with others, where we have poured our time and money, certain things that have led to a lack of victory in our life. We've been carrying the weight of heavy burdens for a while. Things that have caused us to be defensive, feeling the need to protect ourselves. This is a wounded warrior who has stood the test of time. He has a bandage on his head. He's been through a lot. He's learned a lot of lessons. 9 of Wands is very heavy burdens. Judgment taking place on the injustices here. Situations that have been unfair. The scales of balance in the Justice card here are here, and the Sword of Truth. It's like God is coming in with the Sword of Truth, weighing the truth with the lie and bringing in that balance. The light is coming into the dark in order to shine and bring about the balance, rightfully so. Here, we are coming out of, finally coming out of emotional turmoil. This is emotional loss and sadness, but it came in the reverse. So we're coming out of emotional turmoil, but we have been heartbroken, truly heartbroken by the lies that we've been told or the false hopes of specific situations that we thought, deals that we thought were going to come through. Very heartbroken. False expectations. It's like expecting God to open certain doors. But we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. These are offers that didn't get off the ground. We have Nine of Swords energy, mental turmoil, mental conflict. It's about this Ace of Wands, which is a new beginning given by the hand of God. But it ended in a 4 in the reverse. 4 of Wands in the reverse. This is happy, solid foundations. Something new being built. A good, solid foundation. It came in the reverse. We have Queen of Pentacles, Emperor, Queen of Cups. All in the reverse. God's been putting a big, strong emphasis on authority figures. This is your material, people, the resources. This is the cups represent emotions, emotional support and love. And the Emperor seems to be holding a rod. Usually a rod represents action, but it can represent integrity in terms of this is a person who's been put in a position of authority, a staff. These are people who are in positions of authority, who have not made the wisest decisions in terms of where to put their resources or how to take the proper steps of action. But again, authority figures are supposed to be of integrity. And when they're in the reverse, it's spiritually immature. It's lacking. So we also have, it's led to juggling, because these authority figures that we expected to deliver on certain promises or false expectations that were created with the Devil card here and the Lovers in the reverse. I'm just showing what's coming out here so you can see the juggling. Because of this devilish energy, the Knight of Pentacles took his offer elsewhere. It's like we expected that offer to come in, and because it never arrived with this Devil and the Lovers in the reverse, this is a relationship that never got off the ground because of toxicity or a lack of spiritual growth or codependence. We got the Eight of Wands with the Magician and the Hangman. It's like we've been stuck in a position of like hanging upside down long enough to gain insight, which is that, yellow halo around his head. It's like being stuck in hangman mode upside down long enough in order to understand this magician, which again, when you look at the magician, he has all of the elements. He has, the sword, he has the cup, the sword, the cup, the pentacle, and the rod. The ability to make things happen. Okay? And God has put us in a state of hangman mode for a while in order to understand our manifestations, in order to get this information. It's like to sit still long enough in order to understand where we've gone wrong. Like, how are we repeating certain patterns? And see, this right here, I always notice this, and I'm going to just point it out though. With this magician, he has the infinity symbol above his head. And the infinity symbol represents what goes around comes around, which what you sow you shall also reap. Also, it's, on earth as it is in heaven, meaning whatever you pray into, meditate on, sow into, that is what is going to be birthed. That is what's going to transpire. So those things that you put your hands to is what's going to become your reality. Okay? So God has slowed us down long enough to understand God has been giving us information in order for us to understand this 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. Why we continue to fail. Why we have a lack of success. Why we continue to have cups that are being spilled over. Why it's like, and it takes you back to yourself. When you're in an upside down position and you can't move forward, you have no choice but to look within. So it's like we've been getting information and getting the truth from the heavenly realm, the spiritual realm, in order to recover lost pieces of ourselves, certain vital information that we can't pick up on or become clear on when we're distracted. Because we need to understand, in order to become the magician that knows how to use your resources the right way. So all of these things, like I was saying before, when you don't have good money or success or enough resources, and you don't have the right relationships, you don't have that good flow of support and love, it leads to the 8 of Swords. It leads to mental turmoil, conflict. And in turn, it leads to heavy burdens. The 10 of Wands, which is the heaviest of burdens. 10 is the highest number in tarot. So whenever you see a 10, it's the heaviest of burdens that you can carry. Just like when you see the 10 of Swords, it's the heaviest betrayal. It's the biggest, baddest betrayal that a person can cause. So we have the King of Wands in the reverse. Let me see real quick. It's like this lack of death and transformation in our lives it's caused us to not be able to choose between options. It's like God has to cause death and transformation in order for us to see things for what they are, for a spiritual rebirth to take place, so that we can then choose the right path. This King of Wands, which is us, the inability to take action, not understanding how to take action. 10 of Cups in the reverse. Unhappy situation, but like he's looking at the 10 of Cups in the reverse, trying to understand it, trying to understand why he can't take action, why he hasn't been able to take action, why am I stagnant? Like, why does God have me in this stagnant place? And then we have Queen of Swords with the King of Swords in the reverse. This is God teaching us a lesson on how to use logic when it comes to dealing with specific energies that present themselves in a downward position. People who are not coming in integrity. Because a king is supposed to have integrity and truth and clarity and fairness and balance. But when he's coming in the downward position, it's like God is trying to teach us when to turn it on and when to turn it off, when to use your logic, and how to protect your heart with logic. Guard your heart. How to make logical decisions. So, we've been on a timeout, okay? The Empress is the chosen divine feminine and energy of God. It's God's chosen. But we've been in the reverse, unable to take a leap forward. It's like we were waiting on this Ace of Pentacles, thinking that we were going to receive it. But it was like God said, because it came out in the reverse. So God said, it's like the Empress, the chosen energy. We have become drained by the lack of reciprocal offers that we have had. A lot of opposition in order to find our truth. It's kind of like going through knocking on a lot of different doors before finding the right one. And so it's like all these things that we've been trying in order to become the Empress, which is being in our rightful position that God has given us, walking in our full power and authority. It's like we've been trying to use our authority and knocking on different doors and they haven't opened. We have been expecting the hand of God to give us this offer. And it's not that the offer is not coming in, but it's like there have been lessons that we've been needing to learn before that offer comes in, the right offer. Gaining the wisdom and the discernment in order to, once God gives you, it's like God he wanted us to rest. Because we've been knocking on so many different doors and facing so much opposition that has drained us. And we've been in a season of hermit, contemplation, rejuvenating, because we're in an upside down position. And so God's saying it hasn't been time yet for the offer. We haven't been able to take a leap of faith, but we're becoming more clear on all of the illusions. And God has been saying, you can't move forward until these illusions have cleared up, until there's a clear path forward. I have you in a position of giving you enlightenment so that you can understand all the illusions of the past, because the moon represents illusion. But it's not only understanding the illusions about people, in past situations. It's about understanding even the illusions about yourself personally and bringing back those fragmented pieces of you that have been lost in battle and spiritual warfare. Because when it's like when you're battling so much, so hard for so long, you lose pieces of yourself, you lose your strength, you forget who you are at times. Those certain oppressive situations chip away at your spirit man, and you need to be replenished, you need to be revived in order to understand the illusions about yourself. Because you need within illusions lies. There's lies within the illusions, and we have to take that time to let the sun shine in over those illusions, to clear up the confusion in order for us to be built 100%, knowing who we are, knowing our truths, knowing what we stand on, so that we don't fall for just anything that comes around. It's discerning the energy. It's knowing yourself, so that when something doesn't align with you, you can reject it. It's coming out of deception. It's coming out of deception. And see, this is the thing. This is a card of deception, okay? Swords are mental. These are mental thoughts or communication. Lies. Lies that others have told us about ourselves, that we believed at the time. And like when you see this card, it looks like other people around are trying to get away with something. But it's like you see people trying to get away with something, but it can also be us deceiving ourselves or believing certain lies about ourselves that we've been told, that have also caused us to have a lack of self-esteem. It's like people going around deceiving others as well as deceiving themselves. This is coming out of deception. But it's like, in order to come out of deception, we have to do the work, the spiritual work. We need to look within. And so we've been in a deep place of contemplation, trying to understand why God's not allowing us to take big leaps forward. And it's because of the illusions. It's like you can't take a step forward until you come out of deception, because your foundation has to be solid. And the only way to build a solid foundation is to be real with yourself. But you can't be real with yourself if you don't find the truth. Like, everything is based on truth. So anyways, I'm done with this deck. I'm just going to see if there's anything else that wants to come out with this one, because I'm going to go to a different deck and see if there's anything else. So we have the Star card, which is a card of healing. The light shining in, which is the sun, on the things that we need to walk away from. We don't know. You have to go within. But the light is shining on the fact that we need to continue healing and walk away from things that don't serve us, because it's a new season. Coming out of heartbreak, after analyzing our investments, weighing our investments, what we've sown, what we've got out of, what we've invested into, past betrayals, not allowing ourselves to step back into the same traps, which is another reason why we went into hermit mode. Because the truth is, these past betrayals almost completely ended us, to where our hearts were broken so bad that the devastation could have really taken us out of here spiritually. Like, we could have gone off the deep end. I just feel it really deep that these betrayals could have really taken us out. Like, they did take us out on a spiritual level. Very deep spiritual level. I'm talking 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands. Deep and brutal. Because the truth is, we have had people stalking our energy. We have had people, trying to find ways to bring chaos into our lives in order to reap a harvest off of our energy, which is, draining us. When people drain you, they can reap a financial reward from draining our vital, pure, magical, enchanted, godly energy. So we do have Temperance in the reverse, which is people who are imbalanced, not healed, causing imbalances for us in order to keep us in a cycle, an open cycle, to keep us going round and round the mulberry bush, like going round and round, to where we're not learning our lessons and we're not seeing things clearly. People who have been like purposely concocting confusion in order to keep a specific toxic cycle going, instead of us going within how we are and how we have been and becoming balanced. Because temperance in the upright is being balanced. We have not been balanced. We've been believing the lies and the illusions, and that is what kept us stuck in cycles of going round and round. And God saw that and said, you know what? Like, you've been in a cycle of going round and round and round. Like, it's time to sit down. Just sit down before you get taken out of here, because you're not listening to me, and there's too many dark energies that are getting too close to you, and you're not protecting yourself, So God had to intervene and level out this energy in order for us to wrap up certain cycles that have kept us living in illusions, and also living like we've been small, like thinking about ourselves smaller than we are. And now we'll be able to come out of this new cycle after being sat down by the Most High God and know who we are and know what to accept. And I'm getting that when you've been sat down by God and you've been in a place of stagnation, restoration, healing, to where you're wanting to move forward so bad, but everything in your life is on shutdown, you're not going to let yourself be sat back down the way that you have been. And so in order to get back on, once God allows us to move out of this place of being stagnated, because we're learning all these deep soul lessons and seeing who we really are, you're going to be so eager to go and do things right that you're not ever going to want to be sat down in this manner again. So you're going to do things right this time. You're going to make sure that you don't allow the same energy to take you down or pursue you in a way that's detrimental to you on a spiritual level. So it's like we're wrapping up these cycles. This came out again. I don't know. It was here. But ignoring offers that are no good. Learning those lessons and feeling it within yourself. It's like we're learning now how to go within in order to figure out what boundaries are and what that means exactly. What does it mean to just turn it down and be like, you know what, I'm sorry. Like, I really just can't make everyone happy. I just can't do that. But anyways, ignoring certain offers, but also this is like when your ships arrive, you know, you're waiting and they arrive. And this is when they don't, you waited, but they never showed up. It's like, again, if I waited for you to show up at any point in time and I've given you ample time to show up, and at some point I just grab my belongings and I go, like, after I already waited and I left, it took a lot for me to get up, grab my things and go. You didn't show up, so I had to make a decision and go. And now that you want to come back around, okay, after I grabbed my stuff and I went, you had ample time to present your cup. Now I'm ignoring the offer because the time ran out. All right, so I'm gonna, let's see real quick. Couple more minutes. This is from a different deck. I think I got all the info out, but we're moving on with the Chariot. This Chariot card, the Chariot, black and white, is balance. When you're able to finally move on with the Chariot, you're balanced. Between your light and dark energy are balanced. It's like you faced and embraced your shadow self.